Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Indigo Diamond here with another video here to talk about the latest episode of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 4. Today we're going to be talking about the Snatch game, but before we get into that, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and tell me down below who are you rooting for. I think currently, I don't want to pull my lash off, Cheddar is the one I'm rooting for to win the most. As you can see, I am joined by Jimbo and Bendelacreme. Not literally, but in plushie form. If I end up getting more of these, more will appear, or they'll rotate in or out. But yeah, I just thought it'd be nice to have them here with me, and hopefully they won't fall off. So, Snatch game. Oh, this was an interesting episode, wasn't it? I mean, as per usual, some queens did well, some queens did not so well. I think there were 3 queens that did really well. We had our winner, Cheddar Gorgeous, as Queen Elizabeth I. I don't know why I'm questioning that. Was the winner of this week's challenge. Did a phenomenal job. You know, that laugh that she kept doing was just absolutely crackers. She really just went with it. It was fantastic and definitely well deserving of winning. Other tops, the other top was Jonbers Blonde. Close to a win, but didn't quite grab it. Again, it seems like she's going to be like that queen that keeps getting close, because she got close with the Ru's Cool. Close again this week and just didn't quite get there. She was originally going to do Enya, which is a Irish singer, I believe, but ended up, as per RuPaul's advice, going for St. Paddy, the female version of St. Patrick. Very funny, was very good, very stereotypically Irish, which I suppose, you know, was probably why RuPaul was like, oh, do this thing, because it's so Irish, and stereotypically Irish, you can just do whatever you want. But, you know, Jonbers did a fantastic job, really went with it, and yeah, just a little bit hairs in my mouth today. My third top, who actually ended up only being safe, was Dakota. Dakota did really well. She did Pete Burns, but it was absolutely hilarious. The line, it's great, you can smoke indoors if you're dead. Hilarious, really good. Did phenomenally, but she was placed as safe. I would have liked her to have got critiques for this episode, but hey, you know, at least they didn't throw her in the bottom. The other safe queen, because they only announced 2 queens for being safe, was Danny. Now, Danny came into the episode with a very strong mindset of what they wanted to do. They wanted to do Louis Walsh. And when they said they wanted to do Louis Walsh, I sat there and went, but Louis is not funny. And then Danny did an impression of them and went, yeah, Louis is not funny. I don't know. When she did the impression to RuPaul was just deadpan the entire time and really threw Danny off. Danny was like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I thought it was really good. I've been rehearsing for ages. And I was like, oh, I don't know what you've been rehearsing, but clearly it wasn't working. Danny ended up doing Cilla Black. I'd been really excited for someone to do Cilla Black like this entire time. And then Danny did it in Snatch Game, and I was like, oh, can we get someone that can do it well? Because I know everyone makes fun about the fact that you can't really understand what Cilla's saying because of her accent and her teeth, but I think Danny went too far with that, in the fact that I literally only really heard noises a lot of the time when they were answering. Also, for me, I know Danny likes to keep the facial hair, it is part of their drag, but keeping it when you were doing Cilla Black, I'm not necessarily sure was the right call, only because of the fact that clearly what Danny tried to do is paint it a colour so it just looked like it was their skin, but the problem is you could clearly tell there was facial hair there, and so any time it went to Danny doing Cilla, all I could see was the facial hair, and I was like, but Cilla didn't have facial hair. Yeah, I don't know, wasn't my favourite. I'm hoping someone else will do Cilla Black in the future and maybe do a good job of it. Who else did we have this episode? My brain's going blank. Pixie Polite did not do great this episode. I feel like Pixie's just so in her head this season. I hope she can get out of that, either moving on or like if she comes back for a future season, I'm hoping that maybe she'll snap out of that. But she was doing Shirley Bassey. But she did it in a Bubbles DeVere voice, which just really threw me off. I was like, I mean, I know some people you can't necessarily do the voice of that person, or maybe they have an accent and you're not very good at the accent. But doing Shirley Bassey with a Bubbles DeVere voice, and it's such a distinctive voice as that Bubbles DeVere voice as well. As soon as she started talking, I was like, why is Shirley Bassey Bubbles DeVere? Like, I almost feel like Pixie would have done a better job if she had done Bubbles DeVere. Because clearly she's got that voice down to a T, and, you know, Bubbles is a fairly easy character to do, I think, anyway. But yeah, I feel like that maybe would have been a smarter choice, if I'm honest. Because, yeah, none of the jokes really landed. She just kind of, like, kept going off on, like, random meaningless sentences, all while sounding like Bubbles DeVere, but not looking like Bubbles DeVere. The makeup job was really good. Like, she looked amazing. But yeah, it didn't land for me. The other thing that confused me about this episode is, so the runway theme was Tickle Me Pink, and Pixie came out in an outfit that she was like, you know, this to me is very, you know, RuPaul and like the head of the show, you know, with the runway outfit. And I was sat there and I was like, the first thing I got was Penelope Pitstop from Wacky Races. I don't know if I don't know if anyone's going to know that reference. So if I remember, I'll put a picture up here in this little gap of Penelope Pitstop. And a lot of it was because she had the actual like helmet on and she had a ponytail coming out of it. And, you know, when RuPaul's in the like opening, RuPaul's holding the helmet, she's not wearing the helmet, and she doesn't have like a ponytail. So for me, it did not give RuPaul at all. All I could see was Penelope Pitstop. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a really good look. I loved it. It was just the reference that Pixie was giving was not the reference I was getting. Don't know if that's just me. Let me know down below. Did anyone else get Penelope Pitstop? Again, the image will be up here. It helps if I can actually know what I'm like, where I'm pointing. If I remember to put it in of Penelope Pitstop, just so you guys can understand like where I'm getting confused, because I swear it's not like just a random thing where I'm like, oh yeah, Penelope Pitstop. It really did look to me more like a Penelope Pitstop look than a RuPaul look. Still really good though. There's only two more, wasn't there? Black Pepper. Oh my god, I cannot speak for the life of me. Black Pepper did Lil Nas X. Now, yeah, it just didn't really go anywhere. It was not great. I'm gonna say that, it just wasn't great. Yeah, there wasn't really a lot there. The answers weren't particularly funny, and I know, you know, not everyone's good at comedy, not everyone's good at characterization, and, you know, Black Pepper had stated that this is something she's not really good at. I feel like she could have gone further. You know, I feel like part of the problem I've just put some hair in my eye. Oh my god. Anyone else have this problem? No, it's still there. It's still there. Oh well, we'll keep going. I feel like one of the problems for Black Pepper is she essentially it felt like she went into it with a, I can't do this attitude. Very much like Trinity K. Bonet did in All Star 6. it very much felt like she went into it going, this isn't something I'm good at, but I can lip sync, so it was fine. And it was kind of disappointing because, you know, if you're not good at something, you need to try as much as you can. I know it's so difficult to do. Really easy to say, really difficult to do, but try your best to go in with like a positive mental attitude and, you know, give it your all. And, you know, like RuPaul said, it's like, you know, we don't really know a lot of Lil Nas X, like, outside of the music and stuff like that. So it could have been anything. And, like, even Alan Carr said, like, for all we know, he could have been, like, super conservative or something. And it's like, you know, that would have been something different and, you know... But I don't feel like Black Pepper really, like, picked a direction for the character to go in. So she didn't really have anything to stick to or, like, almost fall back on. So I wonder if that might have been a bit of an issue there. Which was a shame, but, you know, like I said, not everyone's good at these challenges. It's all a learning experience, isn't it? Finally, we have LaPhil. Now, LaPhil did... I can't remember for the life of me who she was. But she did an Asian character, which is great because of the fact that, you know, obviously, because of LaPhil being LaPhil, you know, it's closer to them at that point, so it might have been slightly easier for them to do, and it is someone that she said she loves a lot, so that's great. Problem is the person she did, like, her personality is like being really tidy and really clean and like minimalizing things. So, like the judge said, you know, LaPhil could have gone down the angle of maybe, you know, secretly she's really messy or something like that, something to kind of give us a spin that could almost liven the character up somewhat. LaPhil's other option was going to be Posh Spice, Victoria Beckham. I would have liked to have seen her do that, I think. I would like someone to do Posh Spice just to see what they would do with it, because again, this is like the second person that's like Posh Spice was like my alternate, because Davina DeCampo in season 1 had that same option as an alternate. So yeah, it would have been interesting to see what happened. Runway looks, I really liked Pixie's. My absolute favourite was Cheddar Gorgeous's, and, you know, I think most people could say that with the Tickle Me Pink look, because she did the lots of like pink like triangles, which was like the mark they were given in like the Nazis gave people in Germany, like around and that were homosexual, to kind of identify them. And then she had the word silence equals death. It was essentially, it's supposed to be a very powerful movement about like HIV and stuff like that. It was a very good runway. I very much appreciated it. Yeah, not really much else we can say about that apart from the fact that it was amazing. Cheddar wins the episode, which I agree. I think Cheddar did fantastic in the challenge, but she also did fantastically on the runway. So yeah, I think, you know, if her runway would have been stronger, Jonbers would have been more of a it would have been more of a competition between the two of those to see who was going to get it. But I think Cheddar was just so good in the challenge, and her runway was just so good that it kind of just had to be her. I would have liked, again, like I said, I would have liked to have seen Dakota get some feedback, just because I think she did a good job in the challenge. And, you know, considering she's very like fashion orientated, I think it would have been nice for her to get some positive feedback on like a comedy challenge. So I don't know, just me. The bottom two end up being Black Pepper and LaPhil. Unfortunately, I do think they were kind of the worst of the week, and they have to lip sync to a Spice Girls song in front of Mel B. Now, do I agree with who went home? It's difficult, because I do really like Black Pepper, but I do think I would have saved LaPhil. And honestly, a lot of that is just like Black Pepper felt like they took a while to get their energy up. LaPhil had like the energy all the way through, and honestly, I quite liked the unexpected reveal of like the leaves and the shoes and stuff like that. I knew LaPhil wasn't going to win the lip sync as soon as she started taking the shoes off, and it cut to RuPaul with that face that went, "Yeah, you're going home." As soon as that happened, I was like, yeah, unfortunately, LaFille's not going to make it, even though, yeah, we don't like, well, they don't like queens taking their shoes off, but I felt like it made sense. Like, she'd been camping because her outfit was like a 10. And, obviously if you go camping, you tend to end up with like leaves and stuff in your shoes. So, shaking those out, I don't know, it made sense to me. I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching LaFille. Um, I'm not mad that Black Pepper's staying, honestly. It is what it is, Black Pepper's very good at what she does. LaFille's very good at what they do. And again, it's one of those things with lip syncs, especially. Queens can take things different ways, and I guess it's more of a case of what sort of lip sync you're looking for in regards to that song or something. I must admit, one thing that really bugged me is Black Pepper did like a hair whip, but she had like a really short haired wig, so like none of the hair could move. And I was sat there going, you can't like do a hair flip if you've got no hair to flip. It's like, it just looks weird. Again, my personal gripes. I have no problem with the fact that Black Pepper stayed. Personally, I just would have chosen LaFille to stay based on the lip sync. But I love Black Pepper. I think she is great at what she does. She's great representation for the Caribbean culture. Next episode, she had some really great moments as well, so I am really grateful that she was there for that. But yes, unfortunately, this week we had to say goodbye to LaFille. If you haven't already listened to it, she has released an EP called La Philosophical. All you need to do is go onto like Spotify and just search LaFille, and you'll be able to find like her music. It's very good. I've enjoyed listening to it. So yeah, go have a listen to it, stream it, buy the songs. Whatever you do with your music, whether you buy it off iTunes, just stream it on Spotify. It's what I tend to do. It's a great way to support the queens because it's getting their music streamed, and I believe they get paid for that, I think. But yes, that was Snatch Game. Not the best Snatch Game we've had, but there were some good moments in there. At least 3 of the queens did well. But leave me a comment down below. Who are you rooting for? Like I said, I think for me, Cheddar's like my one to take the crown home. While you're down there, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you lovely people next time. See ya!